Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BikeSocial. I'm Michael Mann. Just behind you is Donington Park's Grand Prix circuit. And right here is the 2021 BMW M1000RR. That's a lie, actually. This is the competition pack version, so it's got some extra lovely little trinkety bits, like these brake lever, clutch lever, foot pegs. There's a bit of carbon here and there, and there's some data log and GPS equipment in there. And there's a nice fancy chain, but you can't see it from there, and a lighter swinging arm. Anyway, in a minute, I'm going to be talking all about the details of the bike, and then we're going to get some onboard footage. We're here at Donington on a focused events track day to spend a bit of time on track getting used to the bike. £30,935 worth. Homologation special, so designed to comply with the World Superbike regulations. And let's see how we get on. See you in a minute. Right then, here we are. Welcome to pit lane, and we have a BMW M1000RR. Why don't we have a little look around it? And I can tell you what the differences are between this and the S1000RR, and then also maybe touch on the competition pack version as well. We're going to have a look at that in a minute or two. Let's have a look. So of course, homologation special. It's really, it's because of the World Superbike, Superstock, IDM, Endurance Cup, and BSB. Sorry, Bennetts British Superbike Championship. And that means that, well, specifically with World Superbikes, it has to be under €40,000. It has to retail at that. So they have to make a certain amount. And because of that price point, that means that they don't have the carbon frame. A question I asked the project manager, Seb Machler, a while ago when the bike was released. But it meant that they can't use the carbon frame because it has to fit in within a particular budget. Of course, in World Superbikes, they've got Matt van der Mark and Sykes. We've got a couple of other guys. Oh, Eugene Laverty, Jonas Folger, and then BSB. There's, I think it's about 6 different bikes, 3 teams: FHO, Cinetic, and the PR Racing team. So there's a good chance. It's like a third of the grid. So the engine is a revised version of the S1000RR shift cam inline 4, 999cc, and it's now makes about 209 brake horsepower. New pistons mainly, so they're a bit lighter. It's got a longer and lighter titanium con rods, slimmer and lighter rocker arms, high compression ratio, and that all adds up to a higher red line. So it's 15,100, and that means it's got 5 extra brake horsepower over the S at peak power. That's 14,500. And what it does, it absolutely screams. So even when you're like 8,000–9,000 RPM, the thing's going wah, 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 and you think, wow, I need to feed it another gear. And you look at the rev count and you've still got, about 4,000 more RPM to go yet. So really, it's got a lot more in the mid-range. It's got a lot more at the top, and that's the obviously the idea for the sort of the base engine to work on for the race version. Loads of weight loss as well. They've got 3.6 kilos alone just with this titanium Akrapovic system. So the whole lot with that kind of race-inspired weight loss, suspension, aero package. It's all got a wet weight of about 192. Look at those carbon rims as well. Beautiful. We're running, what are we running? Dunlop Sport Smart TT tyres, which here at Donington Park. So we've just had our first completely dry session, which has been ace. 4 different riding modes: road, rain, dynamic and race, and then there's 3 extra race pro modes. That's just, you can use the GoPro mount. And then you can start fiddling about with all the electronics in those race pro modes to tailor it to your spec. Obviously it's got the same switch gear as the S1000. Heated grips, of course, that's quite handy. It's got the brake lever protector as well, as is necessary on all track days. I've just got them for the clutch as well. Standard tracker wheel, menu, traction control, cruise control, and all the usual gizmos. And then, so yeah, you use the mode button over here, and you can flick between Race Pro 1, 2, 3, 4, race. And then you can use all the settings using the tracker wheel to then muck about with those to your heart's content. You've got adjustable forks, you've got adjustable rear shock, real high-spec traction control system, anti-wheelie, wheelie control, I don't call it anti-wheelie. Then you've got 3 different engine braking settings, launch control, up and down quick shifter, which is mint. It's so easy to flick it between a race shift and a road shift. And of course, wings. First ever production bike in BMW's lineup with the aerodynamic wings. Don't look mean from the front, look at this. I think it's got gills. Oh look, here's one on the move. So that whole thing is designed to keep the front end down under hard acceleration, but I'm a bit suspicious. I think it's more about trying to keep the bike stable under braking, but that's not quite as glamorous as saying. Taller windscreen, helps you tuck in. Loads of room as well, loads of room. So you can get your bum right back there and get yourself laid right across. And then you get the M1000RR with the competition package. So can you spot the differences? Well, here we go. You've got carbon mudguard, you've got more carbon here, a bit more there. You've got some fancy pants, clutch lever, brake lever. You've got even fancy, look at those foot pegs. Swinging arm is 220 grams lighter. Why? I don't hear you ask. Because they didn't paint it, deliberately. And they've got this DLC coated chain. Now this has been tested in the World Endurance Championships, and it's supposed to actually increase power. So what you also get is an activation code that allows you to comprehensive data logging via the bike's OBD port. Also brings the software on board for a GPS lap timer, and that is someone stole the bike, and that's available for 4,100 of extra pounds on top of the 30,935 you're already paying. There we are, 4 or 5 sessions now on track, all done and dusted, and this is, as you'll notice, this is not the competition version, this is the bike we've been rolling on today. We've run on the Dunlop Sport Smart TT tyres that come as standard fitment with the bike, been on warmers, so we've been able to get out at the head of the pack, which is great, so it gives us a bit of a chance to, stretch its legs first and foremost ahead of the rest of the group. But look, we know this bike is homologation special. We know that it's built for racing and race teams, but that doesn't preclude it from being a very convenient road bike too. There's plenty of Sunday fun to be had on one of these. You've got heated grips, you've got cruise control, you've got all those electronics. You can dial in, dial out, play with around. You've got race pro modes. There's all sorts of electrical goodness that you can dial in, dial out to your satisfaction, to what you want to do. If you want to take it on track, then you're going to murder everybody else out there because it's so fast. the big difference here between the S1000RR and the M1000RR is the way it performs from sort of the mid-range, 6, 7, 8,000, all the way to the red line. And just when you think you're on song and you need to feed it another gear, you have a quick glance and you've still got another 3,000 or 4,000 RPM to go. And it's like not a turbo as such, but it's just got so much more power. And it's usable too, because that peak torque is way up there at 11,000 RPM, and it is torquey too, because here at Donington, for my kind of standard of riding, I'm debating whether I'm third gear rolling through Old Hairpin, for example, and whether I'm short shifting into the next left. And you've got a bag full of torque to get all the way up the hill to McLean's, and what helps that is that mid-range power and all the different components in the engine, and the light bike, and the fact that it's got those lighter weight wheels, and importantly, those aerodynamics. So we can all see it's got the wings on it. To some people's taste or not, they work. They certainly keep the bike under control in the right-left flip-flop down Craner curves, and again through the left-right chicane at the foggy S's. I'm not completely sold on the fact that it helps with controlling wheelies. You can come out of the Melbourne Loop, which again is uphill, and the bike wants to climb. So you're trying to climb over the front of it and trying to get the weight over the front to control it, and you find yourself backing off the throttle. And also and that back straight, there's a crest there. Just as you land, you want to then start thinking about your braking, but as you're coming over there, you're almost rolling or short shifting again, just to kind of control the wheelie. So I'm sure there's some maths to be done about the down forces and the weight of me and the weight of the bike and all the forces, but look, you just want to know what the bike's like to ride, don't you? So I can tell you it's very fast. The brakes are a significant upgrade as well. There's a lot more progression there, there's a lot more feel them, and the ABS doesn't fight. You're not battling with the ABS, certainly, and most noticeably into those foggy S's. So you're coming off that big long straight, you're fifth, sometimes top if you get a good run out the previous corner, and you've got to be hard on the anchors. And it's really, really stable. It's handy with that Marzocchi front suspension. Of course, it's not electronically adjustable. Why would you need to if it's sold as a race bike? At £30,935, is it enough of a step up from an S1000RR? Tough question, and I think I'd need a bit more time on it on the road and on the track, and perhaps on some different rubber to give you a proper and honest answer there. Overall, it's a good-looking thing. I'm really pleased I've had a chance to ride it today, and I think it'll sell well, and I think it'll go well in the racing. So it sounds great. The Akrapovic pipe that comes as standard is mega. Actually, it sounds great independently. So when you're riding it, you hear it and you think, wow, that sounds fantastic. And I stood on pit wall and I heard a couple of them go past earlier, and they're not quite as bellowy as some of the race pipes out there. So your neighbours will be pleased. Something else I want to touch on as well is the room that you've got here. So you've got a taller screen, which is great, so you can get tucked in. I mean, I'm 6'14" stone, so I'm not exactly a whippersnapper when it comes to MotoGP levels of getting tucked in. But what I can have, or what I do have here, is the option of sliding my bum right back here, which is great, because you can get your knees tucked in, you get your elbows tucked in, you get your helmet tucked in, and you do feel as though you're really compact and really part of the bike. And then under the braking, you might want to move your weight forwards a little bit, and it gives you that control. So when you're rolling into Redgate, first corner here at Donington, you've done your braking, you've done your gear changes, which again, super smooth, super slick, never missed a gear, and you've got the confidence in the chassis to get through Redgate and out, and you can start pushing, and it's a tough circuit here at Donington. You want to have confidence in a bike if you're going to push on for a lap time. It's comfortable enough. There's plenty of room here with your legs for road riding too, and I think it's all around, tremendous package. The difficulty is trying to justify that price now. So that's up to you guys. Listen, I will have a full and probably a bit more thorough review on BikeSocial.co.uk. So join me there. Any questions, put them in the feed below, and I'll ask the guys at BMW if they're too technical for me. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. All of the electronics, you can put it in rain mode if you want to, if you feel like dialing it down a bit. So it means that it's so even though we know it's a homologation special designed and epoxy bloody